It's your lovely host, Dissociative Identity Disorder System that no longer knows what to call themselves. Should we stick with Void? Let's just stick with Void, because that was our original system name. So we'll stick with just calling ourselves Void, even though there's a billion voids out there. But I guess that's the beauty of being Void. Anyway, that's politics in America. Things suck. Moving forward. About us, because, where there's an American, there's a narcissist. For ourselves, think we just got to figure out, we need to just get over it and polish what we have and not worry about a lot of things, because we are a writer and we have written so much. So freaking much. Like, probably 500,000 words at this point we have written. And we have published it sometimes, a few times, but then we notice mistakes and stuff like that, so we unpublish and then we get sad, and then it's like, okay, let's change like this instead now, because a few years have passed. And anyway, what we're trying to say is, it's been almost a decade of us writing and not making any progress. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we read an article about how people who battle with addiction also never commit to creative plans. They have a lot of creative ideas and projects, but they'll never commit to them and get anything finished because of just usage and all that stuff. And people are gonna, the stoner community is about to have our heads for this, but let's face it, guys. Marijuana is addicting, okay? Anything that gives you relief, like dopamine or serotonin or any other good chemicals that get released when you use something, it's going to be addictive. It may not itself be super addictive. It's not a trait that's gonna happen because you use, right? But it is something that your body is going to become addicted to, especially if you battle depression like we do, or other things, and you use it for those reasons. Even though if it's for medicinal purposes, you're still going to get addicted because your body's going to be like, hey, that made me feel good, and I like feeling good, so let's keep feeling good. And so we definitely battle with that because that is our only thing of use. And we were trying to go sober for a little bit. We were sober for 2 months, and it was nice. It was nice because we were tired of using our depression and bipolar and us being an us, as an excuse to continue using all the time. And then we were like, well, the fact that we even say it's an excuse, is a sign that we should probably stop. But we were going strong too. 2 months clean, boom, perfect, pretty easy too. We know when we're gonna have withdrawals and stuff, and it's but it doesn't last that long. But then, the election happened, and we were life's too short. Might as well try it again. So, being sober, we can do that again easily. 2 months isn't even a long time. I think the longest time we were sober was before our co-host was born. So 8 months. I think we went 8 months without using anything. And so we can definitely do it. It's just the fact of like, should we? Is there a point to trying to stay sober in this world anymore? Maybe here and there usage, don't know. Because another reason we were going sober is because we were like, hey, maybe we should join the military. But then we looked up a lot of the disqualifications and all that. And we check a lot of those boxes. The fact that we say we is a big check in itself. So, and even out of the mental front of things, we also have bow-leggedness. Our legs are bow-legged or whatever, however you want to say it. So they would also be like, that's a disqualification. And I know you can get waivers and stuff, but there's not going to be a waiver for someone born with bipolar disorder who then went through PTSD and then got a PTSD disorder and then, a whole bunch of other things after that. And then you also have bad knees. No, you can't join. So, yeah, not going to join the military. And thank goodness we didn't. Oh, my God. Look at the world. What were we thinking? So, we won't be joining the military. So, that was another reason we were going clean. And then we were like, well, maybe there's another job we would want. And so we should, be sober for that so we can pass the test. And then those jobs require you to drive a car. And we can drive. Okay. We can drive a car. Guys, we know how to drive. We can drive. We just choose not to. Okay, maybe not choose. We would like to drive, but we can never pass the cone test. And I was like, you just gotta practice. You gotta practice. Blah, 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 blah. When are we supposed to have the time to ever practice? We gotta go to work all the time. Then when we're not working, we gotta take care of the kid. And in the 3 hours of night that we get of not taking care of the kid, it's nighttime. I'm not gonna... like what? Like it's impossible. Let's not use impossible because there's gonna be some Chad or somebody who's gonna be like, nothing's impossible. You just gotta focus. If you really want it, you can get it. I hate those people. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you're one of those people who are like, you just gotta chase, grind, live, repeat, or something like that. If your motto was like, if you don't sweat for it, you don't want it, or something like that, you can go screw off. Honestly, you can go screw off. We hate those people. I go, wow, how's it feel to not have any disorders? That's crazy. That's crazy. To be mentally healthy enough to be delusional to believe that, that's crazy. Easy life, I guess. I know some people are going to be like, well, I didn't have an easy life and I still made it out. That's cool. That's great. Good for you. If that works for you and you are mentally ill, also, hey, that's cool for you. But us, don't ever say that type of stuff to us. Because there are definitely things we can grind for and will sweat for. But there's still a lot of factors outside of what we do. Like, guys, we know the grind is real. We know you gotta chase it if you want it. That's why we typed 200 freaking pages of a novel without keys on the keyboard. Huh? Can we get that again? We literally ripped all of the keys off of our own MacBook because some of them were already missing. And then when you have one missing one and the rest aren't missing, then with this guy, it was like, okay, some of them click, some of them don't. That's annoying. So we just ripped off every single key to our MacBook and still typed a whole novel or novella or whatever, because say people are like, a novel has to be this long, and if you type this long, then it's not a real novel. It's actually a novella, and if it's a novella, then you can blah 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 blah. All these freaking labels are driving us crazy. Okay, so anyway, we know how to chase the grind. Okay, we know it, we do it. But will you still get no progress from that? Or, no one still cares? Then what's the point? Is our thing. Like, I know some people are like, well, for your own self and everything. guys, we have a disorder where our brain could be like, actually, I don't like these people. I'm going to create new people and replace them. Okay? So being alters in a system, we kind of also are like, well, if any one of us ever does get like a really big ego, we're probably going to get replaced, you know? Like, that was the problem with our system before in high school, is that, you know, some people just got too full of themselves. And when you get too full of yourself and you're in a system, every other alter that is not you starts getting really, really sad. And when you have 8 sad people and one very egotistical person in the same freaking body, chaos is the only thing that can happen. And chaos, well, in majority, chaos cannot progress in a positive way. Sometimes you can, because look at life. Okay, life is chaos. We live in a vacuum of space, and yet things are able to have life. That's pretty wild. So yeah, sometimes the chaos can be good for us. Like, that chaos did help us write a lot of those novels. But also, when you look at it, we go back and we look at some of the old stuff written and we go, who wrote this? First off, some of them we don't even know who wrote, or like, who can take credit for this, because it's really good or it's really bad, or they were trying to pick this up and connect it to that, but it didn't work because someone else took over and now they're writing this thing, but that plot's like, dude, it's a lot. So that whole, like, if you really want it, you gotta thrive. You can't make any excuses. It does not work on us, because some of us, when we do follow that, it leads to a lot of bad choices. It leads to a lot of bad, after effects. So we can't be that kind of person, because it also boosts the antisocial in us, and we go, why do we need any other human being when we can create billions in ourselves? And then we just cut everyone off. Hence why we have zero friends right now. And I know some people are going to hear that and be like, I thought we were friends. When we say friends, and we're learning this from one of our friends, funny enough, sometimes he says, like, I don't have any of my friends from high school or anything, or I regret it and stuff. We're like, ouch, wait, does that include us? But then, no, because we talk almost all the time, and we got each other's backs, and, we've always been there for each other. Never had any negative, like, encounters or anything like that. And I'm like, okay, I get now what he's trying to say. Like, it's hard to describe the difference between friends and friends. Like, when we say we have no friends, like legit people that we can trust, there are a few. There are like 2. There's probably 2 people in this entire earth that we can call true friends, that we will go to if we actually need something, or know that we can, have actual dialogue and it means something. We have 2 of those. 2. Just 2. But when it comes to friends, like, oh, let's have fake small talk or anything like that, 0. Because first off, we hate small talk. Gosh, small talk is we can't even describe how much we hate useless small talk. Please do not have a conversation about us, or have a conversation to us about nothing. We hate that. You're wasting seconds of our lives. Okay? So we hate small talk. And we also don't care for friends who, are like, oh, I miss you, let's hang out. And then, you try to talk to them and hang out, and then they oh, I'm busy, oh, this is something, oh, sorry I didn't see your message from 3 months ago. I was doing this. Like, what the excuse me? Excuse me? That makes no sense. So yeah, when it comes to like friends, there's two, and unfortunately we can't even hang out with them because one of them is all the way in Cambodia right now doing his thing and, you know, living his life as he should be. You know, it's actually really dope. We're probably going to watch that on a live stream sometimes because it's dope what they're doing and, you know, support the homies. And the second one, you know, I don't know. I actually don't know why we don't hang out, but it's okay. You know, it might be because of some things. There were definitely reasons on probably why we don't hang out with them, and that's okay. But yeah, so anyway, we have 0 friends, honestly. Like, we don't text people at all. We haven't been out in a long time. The last time we went out, it was low-key cringe, kind of awkward, and yeah, so we don't do that. We don't have friends. So we're realizing now that a lot of that might have been because of the DID. You know, it's easier to have friends when you're in high school because you're always around these people. But like the moment we got out of high school and a lot of drama, things happened, boom, boom, boom. It was kind of like, dang, these people weren't my friends at all. Or I don't even like these people. Or growing up around, like, oh my God, they were Republicans. I'm not saying you can't be friends with Republicans. I'm just saying, yuck. I was friends with Republicans. Like, no wonder why they said so many racist things. And it was like, huh? And that was another thing, you know, being a minority in a lot of these places where we grew up and made these friends. We should have hung out with more people of color, for sure. But we got brainwashed into believing that for some reason we weren't a person of color. And, you know, there's good and bad in that. But it's like, God dang, I didn't realize I was behind enemy lines this whole time. I was like a spy or something. So, yeah, we don't have friends. I know a lot of people say, I don't have friends, but they do. They do have friends. They do go out. They do a lot of things. And how did we get to this topic again? Something about driving, right? In the Army and all that stuff. Just saying, we cannot become a typical man state of mind for the, you know, blood, sweat, tears, blah, 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 to get what you want. We can't become that because we will shut everyone out and only care about us. And we were really close to doing that. We were on that path, like Paul Atreides in the Great Jihad of Dune. We were on that path, but then we saw all these other visions and said, ugh, we don't want to become a freaking supervillain. You know, that's not what we want either. No. So we had a kid. And having a kid will definitely make you not want to be a bad person, you know? And sadly for us to become that type of guy, I'm saying guy because it's usually men who think this way, and we are in a man's body. So it's like embedded in our DNA, I think, to like want to think that way sometimes. But likely we have a system, and so we're not all men. So yay. But you know, that whole mindset of man mentality and you got to do this and that. Like, if we went on that path, it would have been terrible. And then having a kid, we definitely cannot go on that path because we do not want him to go on that path, you know? So that's just that. And we can do it. We can write. The writing problem isn't a problem. We don't really have an issue with sitting down and then typing out a few pages. I mean, we kind of do now because it's kind of like, what's the point? But we're trying to reignite that passion and stuff. But 10 years of writing a lot of material and not getting anything for it definitely kills like the want to keep doing it. But our mind cannot stop these imaginations of plots and like great stories that we think would be amazing, especially some of them now. Some of them now would be fantastic with the climate of things. So, yeah, I think we're going to just stop trying to focus on it has to be perfect to be published and all that. We're just going to stop. And honestly, we're not going to care about length. We're not going to care about trying to publish it through a company or anything like that anymore, because there's just no point. Okay? I think we're going to just now focus on self-publishing and self-publishing ebooks at the moment. In audiobooks, so we can do that. That costs a lot of money, though. But I think we're done trying to do the whole, hey, let's publish this, and then let's make it a paperback, and then a hardcover, and then let's do all this, because it just was not working. And mind you, 1 second, for those who are listening, you're not going to be able to see this. So if you want to see what we're about to do, you can go to the Twitch or something like that. I'm sure we'll figure a way to put it on YouTube where you can see it, but 1 second. All right, for those who can see, you can see in our hands we're holding some novels here. Now, the novels we're holding, you know, you can see that, right? You can see this. It's nothing too special in the covers, because we don't know how to pay for cover art. Because here's another thing. Here's another reason why we hate the whole nothing's going to stop you mentality. You can't control other people, okay? We have reached out. Everyone's like, just reach out to artists. Don't use AI art. Don't use AI art. It's terrible. But everyone's like, don't use AI art. Use your artists. Reach out to artists, you know. Do this with artists, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Tell us why. For 3 years, all we did was message artists. Good artists, medium artists, you know, we message artists even who we went to school with to work on book covers. And you know what? Every single artist for the last 3 years have said, oh, I'm not doing commissions right now, or I don't know because I won't know how to do that, or oh, I have other things that I need to do, and then you can message me and then we can talk about it, blah, 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 blah. For 3 years, we have done this game. We have gone back to the artist who said, message me later, and we might be able to work something out. Either no response or the same excuse. Oh, sorry, I'm busy. Oh, sorry, I can't do that right now. Check again in a couple of weeks or something like that. Okay, check in. Hey, you still busy? Yeah, I'm still busy. Sorry, I can't do it. Okay, all right. And then, you know, artists that we've grown up with. Hey, can you do this? And, oh, yeah, maybe. Gotta work, but maybe. Oh, I don't know. No. Okay. Listen, guys. Stop with the whole, I'm going to tell a little lie. I'm going to tell a little white lie. If you don't want to do something, just say that. Just say, no, I'm not interested. No, I don't do that type of art. I don't want to. Just say that. Do not make up excuses of, oh, I'm busy. Oh, later. Oh, actually, I have some commissions to do, and then we can talk about it. Like, dog, for 3 years, you've been doing the same commissions for 3 years, huh? So that's why we don't like the whole. If you put your mind to it, you can get it done. Okay, we can put our mind to it, duh, but we can't force anyone else to do the other stuff that people say we need to do. Everyone's like outreach. Okay, we outreach, and then we get talked to the hand. We get put on hold. Then what? Now what? Now what do we do? Seriously, if you have an answer for that, leave it somewhere, because we don't understand how the F we're supposed to just do it when we reach out to people and they don't want to do it, or they lie about they're going to do it. Okay? Don't give us that BS. I don't know what superpower you guys have where you can just outreach to someone and they are like, yeah, I would love to work with you. And then they work with you and then it's done. I don't know how you guys have that superpower. It might be because you don't have 30 people in your head and humans just somehow are like a school of fish and they can just go together and all that. But I feel like the moment you have our type of disorder, it's like other humans treat you like an alien. Like they don't really know what you are, especially if you tell them. Especially if you're trying to be open about it. Hey, this is my truth. I have a PTSD disorder that makes me more than one person in my mind. Everyone, for some reason, everyone, no matter how woke they are, no matter how accepting they pretend to be, everyone, they get that fact of news and they go, yikes. Hold the phone. What? You have more than one person in your brain? That's scary. You're scary. You're scary. I can't work with you because you scare me. I'm sorry. Like, okay. But everyone's like, be yourself. Be yourself. Be proud of who you are. Okay? We are proud of who we are. All right? We don't care that we have this type of disorder. Honestly, we love it. We would probably not be alive if we didn't have it. But each time we try to be proud about who we are and don't hide who we are, everyone starts treating us like, you should have never have said that. You should never have said who you are. We did not want to hear that. And that makes us go, do we really need people in our lives? Anyway, back to the writing. So, you see this big boy here. For those who are watching on the live stream or watching the video afterwards, this is this is, at the end of the day, this is 700 pages long. And it's 700 pages long because this is a collection of everything that we have written in one novel. Okay? This is from short stories to novellas to full-length novels, all put into one novel so we could see what it would look like. All right? So we could follow the story. And we have gone through half of this with the pen. Legit. With pen markings and all. Can't see that. Anyway, you can kind of see it. And we started self-editing this thing by hand when we worked at a job. We would take this to work, and when there was nothing to do, we would just read our own book and start to work on it. Edit, physically. And one time, a guy came in, and he was like, what book you reading? And we were like, it's something we wrote. And he said, you wrote that? All of that? Yeah, wrote all of this. Yep. And then he gave it a little skim through, and then he gave us a business card, and it was like, we work in publishing and all that. You know, reach out to us, and maybe we can work together or something, because I do all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Reached out to him the next day. Ghosted. No response. Not an email, not a phone call, not a text, nothing. Tried him one more time. Still nothing. Never heard from this guy again. Never saw him again. Never came back to the store. I was like, what was the point? Like, literally, what was the point? What was the point of having all of that excitement and talking about it and just to ghost us anyway? Like, are we missing something? So, yeah. Here's what we're thinking. Because right now, we're kind of doing this thing where we kind of rebooted all of this into a different type of way, where it's less fantasy. It will be still a fantasy, but we kind of wrote it where it's like more realistic, and then the fantasy stuff starts happening, you know, slowly as you read more. But it also feels kind of wrong to the original idea that we had, because the original idea that we had is still a very great idea. It's still something so unique that we really haven't seen it done in a lot of different media. Like, it's not a topic or a plot that has happened in this type of way. Like, there's close plots. There are plots that are kind of like it, but when it comes to like originality, this is kind of it. This is like where it's at. And so we're thinking, maybe before we publish the reinvented idea, we go back. We keep it this long. Because here's another thing. We don't know. It feels like a lot of people don't have that drive for reading as much anymore. Especially with like TikTok rot and YouTube shorts, and everything's getting shorter by the minute, and attention spans are terrible. You have to be like a true passionate person to still sit down and read a novel. And we used to sit down and read novels all the time, but then we got in a car accident and a whole bunch of other stuff happened to us, and our brain kind of like, our dyslexia was bad in high school, but after a car crash and hitting our head a few more times, it's like the dyslexia just went up, like skyrocketed. Like, it's hard to read physically now. Like, we flip everything, letters, numbers, everything just gets rearranged now to a point where it's like almost painful. Like, we used to be able to, we could probably clear a 400-page book in a day. Like, we were that fast at reading, and now to physically read something, it's like so slow. So that kind of put a burner on things. And so, it takes passion to sit down with a novel and really love it and read it. And so, sorry, lost a train of thought. But I think we were going to say, we're going to keep it this long, but only as an ebook for now. And we're going to edit it. We're going to just edit for grammar, some plot changes, and that's it. And then we're going to publish that. We're going to market the F out of it. We're going to market it like crazy and see what happens. And I think we should do that for at least 3 months and see if it makes any progress, any traction, and if people fall in love with it. Because the sequel to this, we still want to do, but we cannot do it in this new reinventive way. Like the new idea that we have now, it's not bad. It's just, it's not the dream that we had. It's not the vision we had those years ago when we started this. And we really want to come back to this big boy here. We really just want to get this done. Ew, notification, what the frick? And so I think that's where we're going to go writing-wise. We're going to just stop trying to reinvent the wheel 500 different times. We have rewritten the same story in like 4 different types of genres. Not even kidding. We literally have the same one story, plot, characters, and everything rewritten to a T as a completely different novels. That's still, it flows the same. The idea is still kind of the same, but like one is a thriller, one is like more spiritual, one is just straight fantasy, and one is just like no magic at all. Like, we have done that. We have that. And that's the thing about most of our writings, we have them all. We were using Scrivener, but Scrivener, if something goes wrong with Scrivener, you pretty much lost your whole project. It's gone out the window. Like, it's hard to find it. So we gave up on Scrivener right now. We're just going to use Google. We like to use Scrivener to rearrange some things. We'll probably do that. But I think the goal is to just really edit this one to a T, till we fall in love with it. And then publish it do everything we just said. I'm not going to repeat, but I think that's the goal writing-wise. And we're just going to self-publish that and as an ebook. And if it gains traction and people are like, I need this as a physical copy, please make this physical so I can take it with me to places and read it and all that, then we'll do that. But we're done publishing physical copies of our novels because A, the resources, B, the formatting, and C, you don't really get a lot of royalties back from that. And if the cover art is wrong or there's a typo, it takes a while to have the fixes take place. With ebook publishing, it's just instant. You need to change the cover, boom, instant. It's going to change probably the next 3 days. Oh, you made some typos or that's not where it's supposed to be, boom, changed it. It's going to be there the next time someone buys it. Like, it's just more efficient that way and easier to, I guess, sell. And so that's where we're going book-wise. Okay, novel-wise, we're just gonna tackle the big boy here and hope for the best. Because realize when we're writing something new, it always comes back to, well, this would have been a perfect character for that plot, or this would have been great for the sequel. And so I think deep down in our hearts, we know we just need to stop avoiding the main vision that we had. It may not have sold well before, and it might have been a little rocky to get people to understand. But I think if they read it, if people read this in its entirety, without having to buy, one novel, then 2 novels, and 3 novels to keep up, if you just buy it as the one big project it is, and read it from beginning to end in the way that we wrote it, you'll be like, oh, they were cooking. Oh, they were really cooking something with this one. I see the vision. So I think that's where we're going to go. And the thing about this podcast, guys, and the thing about this live stream, for those who are watching live, everything's improvised. Okay? Everything is on the spot. We literally just thought this right now as we were saying it. We were really, that whole plan just came in, boop, landed right in our little mind palace right now as we spoke about it. We had no idea that we were going to do that. But now saying it out loud makes sense that we're going to do that. We should do that, okay? And so that's where we are vision-wise for that. Now, if you're watching the live stream, this part's just for fun. And this is also, I guess, for the future of our content, because writing's first, but we also love making videos and things like that. And that was a lot easier when you do have friends. It's a lot easier to make short films when you have friends. But now that we have 0 friends and almost 0 time and not any really good equipment to edit, we haven't been able to. We've tried to do the whole filming ourselves do something, making the plot out of that. But really, it's kind of cringe. Let's be honest. Short films where it's just one person doing something by themselves is kind of cringe if you don't have the right production. Like Bo Burnham's Inside, not cringe because A, he's been doing his craft for a while. He already had a following. He had money. He had his own house. He doesn't have kids. And it was easy. When you have money, it's easy to do a film by yourself. You can take all the time you need to edit. You can, he had music and everything like that. We can't play any musical instruments, and we do not have the funding to get the appropriate equipment to be successful and not cringy when filming ourselves. These are just facts. And so, we won't really be able to do short films or filming for a while, But the title of the stream says "Becoming Batman?" ? Now this is for multiple reasons. That middle part, talking about having 0 friends and all that, that's always been kind of us. So that part of Batman we got down. Being a recluse, we got down. we don't have the wealth. We're trying to get there. But honestly, we have an idea because we do work out. And we're trying to bulk up, you know? And here's a funny thing. Here's something so funny. So we started the Batman movie, Robert Pattinson's movie, in October. The beginning of October, right? We started it. We were like, we're gonna watch this. And then we stopped, like, in the beginning. We stopped, and we were like, actually, no. What if we just go back and watch all of the animated movies and stuff like that? And then we start watching all the live action ones. And then, really, let's just... Because we're trying to figure out, like, why are people so obsessed with Batman? Like, why do grown adults just love Batman? And for a while, I was kind of like anti-Batman. I was like, Batman sucks, dude. He kind of sucks as a character if you think about it. But then, for some reason, I was like, maybe he doesn't suck. Maybe there is something to him that makes him so likable. And so we just started doing our own little case study of the character of Batman. And, you know, it's just what it takes to be Batman. What are the different ways of being Batman? And what is the true point of being Batman? And honestly, we were like, ooh, this is going to make a great one of those, like, tier listing breakdown deep dives into a character. So we've been for nonstop rewatching and watching a lot of Batman material. We were just going insane. And we've done this before with the Joker back in high school. That did not do well for our mental, by the way. Because here's the thing. Sorry. This is going to be kind of... Some people might think this is insensitive, and that's okay. Because we... maybe not insensitive on our parts, because honestly, we had no hand in this. But, you know, The Dark Knight Rises, or no, it's just The Dark Knight. I don't know, the second one, the second Nolan movie. You know, Heath, you know, unfortunately took his own life, and people were trying to figure out, why did this happen? What happened? I don't know this. And he kept that journal, and everyone that came out, and it was like he locked himself in the hotel room for like a month or so, and he just really started thinking like the Joker and doing a bunch of Joker stuff alone. And then we were like, what does that actually do to a person? And so in high school, when we had no friends and we could not go out and there was just no one to really be around besides going to school, we, for a good 2 months, just really did a deep dive into the Joker and everything about the Joker, having the mentality of the Joker at home, and this did not go well. And so that did a number on us system-wise. But then we kind of hit a low point in the following year. We really had no one. Like, we sat at lunch by ourselves. The friends that we did hang out with were older, so they had already graduated. And so we just were alone. Alone, dude. We were so alone. Like, one of the most depressing periods of our lives, type of alone. And we had to go to a doctor, and they were like, yeah, you have literally almost no vitamin D. Like, your vitamin D levels are so low that to have them this way, it means you literally had to have not gone outside for like months. And that's exactly what we did. We did not leave our room. Like, besides going to school, we did not leave. We didn't go outside. We didn't take walks. We didn't even let the sun into our room for months. And we were so depressed. We just sat at our computer and played The Sims for hours. Like, we would play The Sims the moment we got home. up to 4 a.m, turn off the computer, go to sleep, wake up at 6, get dressed. We didn't wear, here's how bad it was. We weren't wearing underwear to school. We were just put on jeans, no underwear. We didn't even wear shirts at this point. Like, we would just put on a jacket, no shirt, pants, no garments. Just socks and shoes and a beanie, and we would just go to school like that for months. We were doing this, and so we were like, this is not at the same time I'm doing the Joker deep dive. It just made us think like, oh my god, when we were doing the Joker thing to see what would happen. Now we really do see like it will drive you to a level of depression. If you just lock yourself away, you will become so depressed so fast. And we didn't know we were bipolar yet. This is how we found out we were bipolar. They were like, yeah, you're also bipolar. You have bipolar too. And you're like, oh, what? Okay. Actually, we had bipolar type 1, and then it turned into 2 as we got older, because we used to never have manic moments, and now we're manic most of the time, and then hit depression, and then we're manic again, and then depressed, and then manic again. So, yeah, that's how we found out a lot about ourselves. But going forward to today, we're not trying to become Batman, because it's impossible, but we are trying to figure out what happens to someone who tries. What happens if you try to become like Batman and try to get into that mentality of like justice, not vengeance, and like just the effect of what it does to people. And the reason why we can do this to ourselves is because, like I said, if our brain goes, I don't like who you're becoming, it will just kick us out and put someone else in our place, and that's fine. That's been our lives for the past 20 years. We can handle that. Hopefully, sometimes. Oof. Anyway, so right now we are just now going through the phase of like, okay, we're going to do a lot of Batman character deep diving, get into his mental, and also at the same time figure out the honest truth of what it means to become like Batman. And so the funny part that I was saying about the Robert Pattinson movie is that we just finished it. Tell us why. We only saw it the one time in theaters when it came out, so we could not remember a lot of the plot or a lot of what happened. Tell us why. We finished it November 6th in the morning. We finished it that morning, right after the whole election, and the whole thing about that is like the end of the Batman movie. He's like, November 6th, the city's in ruins and blah, 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 and all that stuff, and like how things are bad, how things went from bad to worse. And I remember just being like, oh my God, the universe is so funny, because what are the odds that we finished this movie that we started in October when that movie starts, and then we finish it on the day that the movie ends, like the same day the movie ends. It was just funny. Okay. I can't believe that planned out, but yeah. So when we finish watching all the Batman media, we'll probably do a deep dive on that and everything. Workout wise, we're trying to figure out what kind of physical we want. Honestly, I think the best physical body to have is kind of like trying to think of a realistic person that we could say who doesn't use steroids. Robert Pattinson wasn't bad, but we're not 6 feet tall. So I guess for us, it would be, the closest would be like Inoue, the boxer. Look up the boxer called The Monster, something Inoue. He would be the closest thing. And our headphones just died. So you guys probably can't hear music now because it's going to be like, we can only take sound from the headphones, and now the headphones are off. Ah! Okay, bud. Whatever you say, bud. Okay, so that just happened. I don't know if you guys can hear music or not anymore. because the headphones are going to try to charge. So, sorry about that, guys. Sorry. For the live streamers. For the people listening on the podcast, you can hear it anyway. So, yeah, we'll make a tier list and all that of like a lot of stuff. But physical wise, I mean, I know we look decent right now, you know. We're not too big at all. I don't know how. We were eating a lot, and somehow we weigh less than we did a couple months ago when we weren't eating that much at all. It's kind of weird. Don't know if the scale was broken or not. I'm going to have to buy a new scale. But our goal is to reach 170 pounds of majority muscle. And if we can, we kind of want to see what we would look like at 200 pounds. So that's a lot to try to do. And now that we're no longer getting our newbie gains, it's been harder to gain muscle and weight. Our metabolism is so fast. It's always been super fast. Like, I don't know why. We were eating like 2 whole pizzas to ourselves for like a week straight, and somehow we lost weight. What? So yeah, we gotta get more creatine, but we got this muscle gainer now, mass gainer really, to help with that, to see if we can keep it. But like, our metabolism is just inhuman at this point. But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up, guys, because gotta get ready for work. Capitalism still owns me, you know. So, and why the sunglasses on the live stream? Why are we wearing sunglasses on the live stream? That's not normal. It is for us. We went a whole year of wearing nothing but sunglasses, and it was the best year of our life, okay? When we wore nothing but sunglasses, we were our best selves, and we had the best luck. And where we work, it's basically Trump land. We live in Trump land. And honestly, don't want these old boomers looking at us, thinking, we're better than you. Because sometimes they walk in and they have that smugness about them. And I can't wait to go, Trump's going to cut your medical support and you can't use your medical card here anymore. Suckers. You don't even realize he's trying to cut Medicaid and stuff like that. Boo on you. Anyway, sorry, had to let that one go. I've been holding that one in. So yeah, we just ordered some new sunglasses in the prescription, and we're gonna be wearing those again for a long time because our eyes scream we want to end you, and people don't like that. People don't like when they look in our eyes and they can see the dark pits of our personal hell in them, and they go, "Whoa, you look so upset." Yeah, we are. So yeah, sorry for the interruptions. Sorry if this one was like a little bit over the place, guys. Honestly, we're just trying to get back into the game. Okay, we'll probably have to start doing these at nighttime after work, so that way we're not interrupted by our little one. And yeah, we don't really know. We really don't know what most of this podcast is going to be. We're trying to figure out a title because we've had a lot of podcasts. Not a lot. We had a podcast before, but that was when we were in our spiritual arc and blacked out, and no one really knew what was going on. So yeah, I think we're just gonna try to stick to this and make it about just the little things in life. Okay, so thanks for hanging out with us. Leave comments if you enjoyed, or leave comments about what you would like to talk about in the future, and we will keep you guys updated on our lives and what we're doing. We'll probably talk about some books in the next one. We'll probably talk about Dune. We've been listening to Dune. We're on the 4th book, so we have 3, including the one we're on now, to go to complete the whole Atreides saga. And let me tell you, these books are eye-opening, but we'll get into that later, okay? So thank you guys for hanging out with us, and hopefully the podcast wasn't too crazy for you. So adios. See you guys later, and thanks for listening. Bye.